Creech, Indiana, Jackson. And we are underway in Nashville. Vanderbilt starts with the basketball. A season that started 20-0. Best start in program history. They are 16-0 inside Memorial Gymnasium. And that's why, right on cue, Michaela Blakes opens the scoring.
Yeah, you see that, how she took that screen the other way, Jay.
Look at tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Capital One. The High Point starting five. They try and spread you out and let it fly. 5 guards all around the perimeter. Spencer off the mark. At Vanderbilt starting 5. Blakes gets a lot of the attention, but the freshman Aubrey Galvin, SEC freshman of the year, has been terrific as well. And there's Passat, who throws another triple.
And the improvement of Justine Passat is another reason why this Commodores team has had a historic season so far.
Good look inside, and High Point is on the board. That's Beckett Snotherly, the junior. A 15 seed has never beaten a 2 seed in this tournament. Big reason why it just can't weather the storm. Can High Point do that early in this game on the road against a Vanderbilt team that'll make you pay if you make a mistake? There's Spencer. Confident three-point shooter, just under 40% on the season. Has misfired too early.
Yeah, I like that she's aggressive and looking for her shots, though. 2 good looks, and High Point so far has done a nice job staying composed with the Vanderbilt full court pressure. Just haven't been able to convert at a high rate yet.
Oh, and all eyes on number 1 in white, Michaela Blakes. But this is a Commodores team that can beat you all over the court. Right on cue. Easy scoop to the hoop inside. Moerentonda can't leave her alone.
Yeah, that was really nice spacing on the perimeter for Vanderbilt. That allowed Moerentonda at 6'2" to just curl across that lane untouched.
High Point trying to get into their offensive rhythm. Got a good look inside. Zavela misses the layup. Blake's in attack mode. Pull up pop. She's fouled.
We talked about all the different ways Michaela Blakes can score. Well, she's up there with the best of them at drawing fouls. It didn't look like there was much there, I have to say, on the attempts. I think Aaliyah Collins has a reason to be frustrated with that call.
For the SEC Player of the Year, the only SEC player this century to average 30 or more points per game in league play. You're not going to totally stop her, but how can you contain her and not let this game get out of hand?
Yeah, I think you first have to find her in transition. She gets about 25% of her points in transition as Aubrey Galvin looks to get it going. So finding her in transition and then trying to make her shots difficult. She's not a player that you can defend one-on-one. You need the whole team. You need to be ready to send help and then rotate when someone steps in for help.
Well, this has been a great start for the home team and 2-seeded Vanderbilt Commodores. And we were curious how they would respond to 15-day layoff after the surprise loss in the SEC tournament quarterfinals. And Shea Ralph said it gave them a great opportunity to refocus and get back to some intense practices, not just worried about what's the next game, what's the next game.
Yeah, and that game was such an anomaly for Vanderbilt. Credit to Ole Miss, who has beaten them in the last 6 meetings, but they were down 25-6 in that game. But I think it's also a wake-up call that at this time of year, one loss like that and you get sent home.
And 4 players have already scored for Vanderbilt. High Point, just the 1 basket. Aaliyah Collins lost the handle. Vanderbilt so good in turning defense into offense. And he rolls in. Sasha Washington needed every inch of muscle there. 8-0, Doors run.
A lot of talk about this Vanderbilt backcourt, but Sasha Washington is their veteran on the interior. She's been playing really well as of late.
That rims out no good from Spencer. Good look, just couldn't connect. Up ahead, transition triple. It's good! Michaela Blakes! Timeout, High Point. Michaela Blake in High Point University.
Yeah, and I love that High Point head coach Chelsea Banbury gave her the day off to go, and she told us there's nothing more important than family and being there for those moments. So really cool that the timing worked out. But wow, these Vanderbilt Commodores, Jay, they are off to a hot start. There's the SEC Freshman of the Year, Aubrey Galvin.
Galvin, the latest bucket to make it a 12-0 run. During the review, they said Blake's foot was on the line, so a 3 was taken back to a 2, but it's still a 12-0 run for Vanderbilt. Corner 3, got it. Much needed for High Point, and Macy Spencer, the Big South Player of the Year, delivers.
Yeah, she gets on the board, and she's working for her opportunities, and she finally gets one to go. That'll hopefully get her team a little bit more relaxed, take a deep exhale.
Blake's in attack mode, off the window and in. She's got 9 early. And at the loss in the SEC tournament, she had no field goals. 0 of 10 from the floor, just 1 point in the first half. So a great response for this opening round NCAA tournament game. Down low, Washington will usually make you pay from there. Good defense from the Panthers. Spencer, got it! Back-to-back threes for Macy Spencer. Giving High Point a much-needed shot in the arm offensively.
Yeah, we mentioned coming onto the air. She's 5th in the country, making 3 threes per game. You cannot allow her that much space and time on the catch.
And Spencer with the steal. You know, 15 seed has never beaten a 2. Earlier today, it was a 2-point game at halftime between FDU and Iowa. FDU trailed by 15 early in that game, just like High Point. And the Panthers mounting a comeback right now, 9-2 run in this opening quarter.
Macy Spencer is not shy. She went 0 of 3 to start from 3. Now she's made her last 3.
Offensive rebound. Was it ruled on the floor, or will they give the and one? Still waiting for the signal from the officials on the floor. Believe they're going to rule it on the floor. And Chelsea Banbury, in her 7th season as head coach of High Point. You just referenced her a moment ago, Kim, is the important
year or 2. I mean, Vanderbilt had 2 or 3 wins in the SEC. And even this year, they exceeded expectations, way higher than they were picked in the preseason to finish in a tie for 2nd with the Texas Longhorns.
Galvin lost the handle. It'll stay Vandy ball underneath her own hoop. 9 seconds to shoot. How has she done it?
Well, she's clearly gotten great players to come, and it starts with Michaela Blakes. We were talking about just the respect we have for the decision that Michaela Blakes to come here. Vandy gets a foul on the baseline out of bounds, but Michaela Blakes did something out of the ordinary by trusting in the vision that Shea Ralph has. And she's clearly a great recruiter. You talk about the SEC Freshman of the Year and Aubrey Galvin. She was not on many people's radar. She wasn't a top 100 recruit. And Shea Ralph knew exactly what she was getting in that young point guard.
We talked yesterday with Ralph about her recruiting philosophy, and she said she doesn't really care about lists or rankings, but just trusts her eyes, and her staff has such a good feel for who is going to fit this program. And you have a great example in that in Aubrey Galvin, the SEC Freshman of the Year, the dynamic duo that Galvin and Blakes have formed. It's taken this program to new heights. The Commodores doubling up High Point early, 22-11. You know, the Panthers, we've mentioned, the Big South champions, just trying to weather this first quarter storm. You know, back-to-back Big South championships, making their 2nd straight trip to the NCAA tournament. They feel like this is a better team than the one that lost in the first 4 a year ago. They were rewarded with this 15 seed. Spencer, the hot hand, misfires that time. She's got 9 of the Panthers' 11. Blakes, fade away, missed it. Offensive rebound keeps it alive. Galvin feeding Blakes. What a pass and an even better finish
And when you're as an elite level scorer as Michaela Blakes is, you have to be so good at moving without the basketball, reading the defense. And that time she was able to seal her defender on the top side, and Galvin perfectly laying it into her.
Hager double teamed, and that's a jump ball. Possession arrow is with Vanderbilt.
And here's this backcourt that has just been sensational. The freshman into the sophomore, Galvin into Blakes, the backdoor cut. Michaela Blakes gets overplayed a lot on the perimeter, and that's when she's able to find success going back door.
But excuse me, possession arrow was with High Point, so Panthers stay on the ball, trailing by 13. Spencer trying to shake free, goes up through contact, but earns 2 free throws. Spencer connects on the first for the 6th straight year. Every NCAA Women's Championship game is on the networks of ESPN. For more information, go to ncaa.com. We finish the first round tonight, Saturday night. Second round coverage begins tomorrow, and then the winner of this game, and then Illinois and Colorado will meet on Monday to help finish second round coverage for the opening weekend. Vanderbilt turnover, but they can still set up their pressure, and they are so good at forcing teams into mistakes and then capitalizing on those mistakes.
Yeah, they can answer back so quickly, and they typically put a lot of length at the top of that 1-2-2 press.
Spencer, quick release. Off the mark, offensive rebound, keeps the possession alive. Spencer fires again. Can't hit it. She is not shy to let it fly, huh?
Yeah, she has launched up a bunch of threes. High Point still looking to get some other players involved offensively. The Big South Player of the Year has 11 of the first 13.
Right, Spencer has taken 9 threes in this first quarter. Off the mark from Galvin. Well, High Point is getting a couple of stops. Now can they capitalize on the other end? Cut into this deficit in the final 2 minutes of the opening quarter. Here's Leah Collins. Attacking Blakes. Didn't get a clean look. Great defense by Michaela Blakes. Great pass, Galvin. Wave off the basket. They say the freshman's foot was on the line. Her heel was touching before she shot that ball.
And this was too bad, because this was nice creation from Blakes to Galvin. There it is. Usually on your own floor, you have a good sense for that. And we have to mention for the opponents coming in, this is a completely different court than most, with the benches on the baselines. But usually you would think Aubrey Galvin knows her court a little better than most.
Hager the drive, denied by the rim. Blake straight feed, an easy finish on the inside for Sasha Washington.
Sasha Washington, last 3 games, Jay, she's averaging 16 points per game on 76% shooting. She is looking comfortable.
And there's that suffocating defensive pressure. Jump ball forcing the turnover because of the possession arrow.
Yeah, High Point has to be careful in those corner areas right across half court. That's where Vanderbilt is really looking to aggressively trap, and they box you in there with the midline behind you and the sideline to the other side.
High Point at a scoring drought of 2.5 minutes. They've missed their last 5, couple of turnovers as well. It's allowed Vanderbilt to continue to separate. No good on the 3. Galvin fighting for it with Hager. And it'll stay Vanderbilt basketball.
Couple different players keeping that play alive. We've been talking about Sasha Washington. She averages about 4 offensive rebounds per game.
Vanderbilt out-rebounding High Point 13-5. Blake scoop to the hoop.
And that's the backdoor cut again. Simple give and go. She gave it away. Her defender was playing on the top side, and she just explodes to that block.
It's still time for one more bucket in a high-scoring first quarter for Vandy. Blake's attacks, dishes. 30 points in the first quarter for two-seeded Vanderbilt. Conference Players of the Year that both had excellent first quarter. Spencer with 11 of High Point's 13, and Blake's with 13 herself, matching the Panthers' first quarter total. Stolen away. The active hands of Aubrey Galvin going coast to coast, draws the foul. Now, Aubrey Galvin does a little bit of everything. Obviously, the assist numbers jump off the page. She leads all freshmen in the country in assists, but her defensive contributions have been incredible.
Oh, yeah, she's got great instincts on the defensive end. She can jump passing lanes. She averages more than 2.5 steals per game. And, Jay, coming into these tournaments, you hear a lot about, oh, who are the breakout players going to be? Aubrey Galvin is certainly one to monitor, especially if Vanderbilt is able to make a deep run in this tournament. I think Aubrey Galvin going to open a lot of eyes. As we mentioned, very unheralded. Coming into college, was not an All-American, was not a top 100 recruit.
3 steals already. Steps out for the 3. Can't connect. Another offensive rebound. Washington denied on her way back to try and clean up the spill. Great pass. High Point, everything but the finish. Curtis, too much on it.
That's too bad. High Point, I think they've been at their best when they're trying to get a little bit of pace going, trying to beat that Vanderbilt pressure before they set up.
That 3 off the mark, but it's another offensive rebound. Count it, plus the foul. Chakalenga Mwenentanda. Perfect position for the hoop and the harm.
Yeah, this is a quick 7 offensive rebounds in this game so far for the Vanderbilt Commodores, and just not enough intention to locating players and boxing out early from the High Point Panthers.
Well, Vanderbilt has 7 offensive rebounds, like you said, Kim. High Point has 6 rebounds total. And the Doors have cashed it in for 9 second chance points. A 20-point lead just a minute into this second quarter. A statement being made by the 2-seed Vandy. They felt like they needed to make one after that surprising loss in the SEC quarterfinal after a historic regular season. This is much more like it for the Shea Ralph's team, although a turnover on that pass by Blake's.
Yeah, we talked to Shea Ralph yesterday. She talked about practice habits and making sure they're practicing how they want to perform in games, and that was lacking leading up to that SEC tournament. But she was really pleased with, it's been a long layover, 2 weeks since then. She's been really pleased with the practices leading up to this big dance.
High Point has missed their last 7 shots before that make. And of course, it's Macy Spencer, who has 13 of the Panthers' 15 in this game.
Yeah, she's impressive, just 5'8". We know she can hit the threes, but mixing it up that time, taking it into the lane.
Kick to the corner, 3 on the way. It's good. Vanderbilt answers right back. And High Point continues to try and get things in transition with these long passes to no avail.
Head coach Chelsea Bambury wants her team to settle down a little bit. Like we said, I think they've been good trying to get some pace going in the game, but they have to know that Vanderbilt is going to be chasing them down on those long passes.
Blake's the blow by and the finish. Michaela Blake's closing in on that Vanderbilt single season scoring record, just 4 points away from history. A record that has stood since 1989, 1990. Belongs to Wendy Schultens, but only for a couple more minutes.
Or so we think.
Vanderbilt, 13 points off High Point turnovers. The calling card for this Commodores team all season long. And a foul called. Shayna Pashish will head to the line to shoot 2.
Michaela Blakes has still missed just one shot in this game. And that's where she's almost at her best, is getting downhill to that right side. She always seems to be able to turn the corner. She has really crafty finishes. She didn't need it on that one, but there's been a lot of N1 conversions on that type of a play this season.
Shayna Pashish misfires on the first, the senior from Mozambique. She has not been home in 5 years, hasn't seen her mother throughout that time. Came to America to play college basketball, so living her dream, now doing it in the NCAA tournament. Incredible story. Back door wide open, and Blakes will run right through it.
Blakes up to 17 points, a little give and go action. Again with the backdoor cut.
Spencer hits the 3. What an individual effort from Macy Spencer, doing it all for High Point. She's got 16 of the Panthers' 19.
That three-point shot is silky smooth.
Tried to squeeze it to Washington underneath, knocked out of bounds. It'll stay Vanderbilt ball. Michaela Blakes 2 points away from setting the single-season Vanderbilt scoring record. She's already into top 10 in program's history in career numbers. She's done it as a sophomore. Think about that.
Yeah, I mean, she hit the 1,000-point mark in 42 games. Wow. That is the fastest an SEC player has ever done that.
And yet she is so much more to this Vanderbilt team than just a scorer. Nesland, everything but the finish. Here's Blakes with a head of steam. Looking to go coast to coast. Finds Passat for a 3. Missed it. Spencer off the mark that time. You got to give Macy Spencer a ton of credit. Just continues to put shots up. 12 taken in this first half. She's got 16 of the 19 for High Point.
Yeah, her first season as a High Point Panther. She spent 2 years at UNLV. She averaged only 4 points per game last season. Only 16 threes on the entire season. This year she's making 3 per game.
Pull up pop. Off the mark. Offensive rebound. Kick out. Here's Blakes. And she will shoot 2 with an opportunity to pass Wendy Schultz. It set the single-season Vanderbilt scoring record that has stood since 1990.
Michaela Blakes has been looking for that record. We talked about it. She's one of the best in the country at drawing fouls. She's actually 3rd in the entire country with almost 200 free throws made on the season. That is a big portion of her scoring average.
That rattles home 195 on the season. So she just tied Wendy Schultz for the single-season Vanderbilt scoring record. And now she's done it. History from Michaela Blakes. Nobody in the history of Vanderbilt basketball has scored more points in a single season than the sophomore from Somerset, New Jersey.
I mean, it's incredible to think that she's still just a sophomore. The accolades are just piling on, piling on. We were looking at the banners around Memorial Gymnasium. There's the player that she just took that record from, but Vanderbilt's going to have to get a new All-American banner as well. They have run out of room on the one that's currently hanging.
So there it is.
Hope it's in the budget, because they got to get a new one up there quickly.
Well, they said they tried to turn it around for this weekend, but not quite. And what a season it has been for Michaela Blakes and this Commodores team. And they hope there's a lot of basketball still in front of them. But this is an incredible first half. 44 points already. Shooting 55% from the floor. Bashish, well short. Passat, pull-up pop. Missed it. Blakes corrals the rebound. Stolen away, Bashish. Transition triple. Spencer banks it in. Well, even though Vandy's doubling up high point, Macy Spencer, a terrific individual effort. She's made 5 threes in this first half, 19 points total. And Blakes and Spencer going punch for punch, like we thought they would.
Yeah, how many points has Michaela Blakes gotten off of simple give and go? Giving it to a player, running right off of them. High Point has to do a better job of trying to deny that in.
Spencer keeps shooting. Back-to-back triples for her.
Maybe we should do a 3-point contest at halftime. Just leave Blakes and Spencer out.
Spencer with 6 threes in this first half. The problem for High Point, that they can't keep up with this pace. Even though they like to go quickly and they've gotten some good looks, Vandy just goes down way too fast on the other end. They can't set their defense.
Yeah, Vanderbilt keeps beating them on that backside of the defense. 24 points in the paint for the Commodores.
So Blakes with 21. This is her 13th straight scoring 20 or more, but Macy Spencer leads all scorers with 22. Great feed. This is poetry in motion, this offense. 50 in the first half for Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I mean, we know what type of scorer Blakes is, but this is an unselfish Vanderbilt team that averages 19 assists per game. They have been sharing the ball early here in the first half. 14 assists on 19 made field goals for the Commodores.
3 minutes remaining in a high-scoring first half for the 2-seeded Doors. Galvin, everything but the finish. To 2, and we were watching that FDU Iowa game thinking, could it be, knowing that we had Vanderbilt and High Point at 2:15 coming up later. And Michaela Blake's doing Michaela Blake's things in the first half. She's got 21 of Vandy's 50. It becomes near impossible to pull an upset of this magnitude when you're going against an offense like this, Kim.
Yeah, I mean, they're so comfortable right now. They're sharing the ball. Michaela Blakes has been lighting things up, but a lot more players than Blakes have gotten involved in the first half of this game.
Spencer's got 22 for High Point. Off the mark that time. And here's Blakes.
I'm surprised she didn't pull that. The defense retreated a little bit behind the 3-point line.
Got a wide open look here. Usually it'll make you pay. Offensive rebound. Washington can't clean up the spill. Blakes trying to rip it away from Spencer. It falls out for a 3. Nothing but the bottom of the net. Nevaeh Zavala, the senior from Plano, Texas.
Yeah, her coach raved about the impact she's made, a 4-year player at High Point. Big South honorable mention this season.
Blakes pull up pop, got it.
I mean, her efficiency tonight is just off the charts. She is now 9 of 13 from the field.
Has scored 30 or more in 7 of her last 9 games already. 23 points. We're not even at halftime yet. Good take on the inside. That's Brecken Snutherly with her second bucket of the first half.
Offense starting to pick up for High Point. The issue is, one, they can't stop Michaela Blakes, and they're really getting beat in the paint in this game. Outmatched on the interior.
Stolen away. Spencer got the better of Galvin there. Anna Hager. Good feed. Give and go. Hager nothing but air on the triple. A 20-point lead for Vanderbilt. But 30 seconds left With a high-scoring first half here in Nashville. Here's Blake's feet inside.
Ooh.
Foul called. High Point insisting that was all ball. Zavala on the inside said she stood her ground. We'll take another look.
Oh my. To me, from that angle, that looked like a pretty good block, volleyball style from Nevaeh Zavala. I see why head coach Chelsea Banbury was communicating with the official there. All ball, she said. She might not be wrong.
I do believe she got all ball, but did she, with the body, lean in? And whenever you leave your feet, you make it easy for the official to potentially call a foul.
But I thought she did a pretty good job of maintaining verticality, even though she did leave the feet.
.23 seconds left in this second quarter. You have to think Macy Spencer will get the look. She has 22 of High Point's 32. The Big South Player of the Year has not been shy. She's taken 15 shots in this first half. Here she is, 13 in purple. Foul called on the floor. Vandy has a couple of fouls to give. Seven seconds to shoot. Zavala finds Spencer for three. Missed it. And Vanderbilt heads into halftime with a 22-point lead. Setting season for not just Michaela Blakes, but this entire Vanderbilt program. And the 54 points they scored in the first half, the most ever in an NCAA tournament first half. They go right inside to Sasha Washington, who's fouled, and will get 2 at the line. You look at the Capital One rewarding performance. You mentioned those 4 assists. I think you look at the 27 points per game and just go, you know, Blakes is just a scorer, but she is so much more than that when you dive into her tape.
Yeah, her assist numbers are up this year because of the talent on the floor around her. She leads this Vanderbilt team in steals, just about 3 per game. She really is a true two-way player on the floor.
It's been a terrific atmosphere here at historic Memorial Gymnasium, and Shea Ralph in year 5 of the job felt like getting this home court advantage would make the difference in getting out of the first round. They've been to the tournament 3 years in a row now, but they've never gotten out of round 1. Lost in heartbreaking fashion in overtime a year ago. And so that was a goal. Get the first 2 rounds here at home and make the most of it. Galvin lost her footing on her way to the rim. Blakes tracks it down, though. They say she stepped on the line. It'll be High Point basketball.
Galvin's laughing. She tried to put a little bit too much sauce on that layup. Oh, there was the second foot. But Shea Ralph, I think, wanted a foul before she stepped out.
Spencer picks up where she left off. How about Macy Spencer? 7 made threes tonight. The Big South Player of the Year. Just an incredible individual effort. And for High Point, scoring has not been the problem. Their offense has looked good in spells. They just can't get a stop. Hager misfires from 3. I mean, if you're High Point, you got 35 points right at the beginning of the second half. You feel good about that going into the game. The problem is Vanderbilt has 58. Nobody picked up Calvin. She'll make you pay. Scoop to the hoop for 2.
She looked right at her coaches with a little smile after that one. Maybe after she blew the last layup, she kept it mainstream on that one.
2 minutes gone by in this second half. Vanderbilt has already separated a 25-point lead. Big South champions continue to battle on. Great defensive play. Jackalenga, Mwenentanda. Galvin fouled this time. She's in attack mode in this second half, huh? Just straight to the rim.
And this Vanderbilt defense has a lot of size, a lot of length on the interior. Jacqueline Wenentanda, who has transferred in this season from Texas, just ate that ball up and kept it in play as well.
Shea Ralph has asked Jacqueline to play a different role than she had at Texas, and she's really embraced that. You know, the portal moves so quickly, you never really know what type of player you're getting until they arrive on campus. And Ralph told us yesterday they feel like they hit a home run with Jacqueline.
And she's a key piece to what this Vanderbilt team is looking to accomplish. She's a player who made it to the Final Four last year with Texas, so she brings that postseason experience.
Galvin all over Aaliyah Collins. Only 2 seconds to get the ball across midcourt, and High Point just does so. And it leads to a layup. Zavala, perfect position to put that home after a chaotic sequence.
Nevaeh Zavala has been impressive on both ends of the floor, showing a lot of toughness for this High Point team. And oh, so easy
The blow
for Michaela
by.
Blakes.
First bucket of the second half after 23 points of the first, and Vandy wins it right back. This is a relentless Commodores team. What they do on the defensive side of the ball, remarkable. The consistency they bring to defense, especially here at home where they're 16-0.
Yeah, I think that's maybe an underrated part of their game, because you think a lot about offense with Michaela Blakes, but this is a Vanderbilt defense that forces 20 turnovers per game.
They have 7 steals tonight, and they cash in on those turnovers. Another 3 from Michaela Blakes. And that is their recipe for success. If you make a mistake, they will feast on it. And unfortunately for High Point, 18 points off turnovers for Vanderbilt tonight.
We were talking before this game, Jay. We were a little surprised that Michaela Blakes has not had a 40-point game this season. She had 2 50-point games last year as a freshman, but she's looking like she's on pace for that.
Relentless pressure forces the jump ball. Possession arrow is with High Point. Yeah, you're right, Kim. You wonder, will she have the opportunity to do it? Certainly there's plenty of time to do it, but with Vanderbilt already up 30 and a game looming on Monday, do you get Blakes out of this game, say, in the 4th quarter?
Yeah, that'll certainly be a factor if this lead stays the way that it is right now.
Spencer. That would have been her 8th made 3 of the night. She's knocked down 7 of them. Blakes, great pass. No finish on the inside by Passat, who commits the frustration foul.
Yeah, Passat right in front of us saying my fault to Michaela Blakes, because that was a highlight reel assist in the making. One-handed fire in. But Passat misses it, and then you said it, frustration foul, and you see it right there on her face.
Here comes the trap. And that's an over and back. The Vanderbilt defense in this second half, they found a new gear despite the lopsided lead.
And we've said this throughout the game. It's not just traps that come at you with Vanderbilt. They put their forwards in these traps. That's Macarat at 6'3". They have Wenentanda who could do that. They have Passat who could do that, and it takes away the vision of trying to pass out of that trap.
Blake still attacking. Floats it to Washington, knocked away. Regathered, Galvin just rims out, no good.
I'm telling you, she didn't get it to go, but Aubrey Galvin is Showtime basketball.
Yes.
We said it, if this team gets a couple of wins, makes a deep run in the tournament, she's going to open a lot of eyes, because she plays with an entertainment factor.
And look, Vanderbilt is focused on the present. This NCAA tournament, as they should be, they're number 2 seed with a really talented team. But Galvin's a freshman, Blakes is a sophomore. And what Shea Ralph is building here for the future is extremely bright as well. When you think about the season Vanderbilt has had, and it's summarized with, you got the SEC Player of the Year, Coach of the Year, and Freshman of the Year. Galvin, the Freshman of the Year, right on cue with an easy layup.
I wonder if her coach has told her to be more aggressive in the halftime locker room, because she has really been looking for her shot here to start the second half.
Also has been the catalyst for all the defensive pressure, number 3 in white. The freshman phenom, Aubrey Galvin. 6 points this half for Galvin. Has the ball here. Washington lost the handle, thought she was fouled. Spencer trying to feed it and was fouled. Now Aubrey Galvin.
Real team who again was shocked with a quarterfinal loss at the SEC tournament to Ole Miss. They trailed 25-6 after the first quarter. It really just took the wind out of the sails after such a great regular season. But a 2-week layover since then, and they have certainly sharpened some things up.
Vanderbilt well on their way to advancing to the second round for the first time of the Shea Ralph era. Something they failed to do the last 2 years. And they'll await the winner of Illinois, Colorado. That game coming up 9:30 Eastern time on ESPN2. Commodores a 30-point lead, but still playing with a relentless energy. Galvin rejected on her way to the rim. We credit the Big South champions, High Point. They have not backed down regardless of the score in this first round matchup. Foul called. Dom Nesling, the sophomore from Phoenix, Arizona, will shoot 2.
Yeah, it's been impressive how High Point is continuing to battle offensively. Their star player, Macy Spencer, has had a tremendous outing. 25 points, has made 7 triples. But the defending the paint has been the main concern for High Point, and the points off of turnovers for Vanderbilt as well.
But you think about what a couple of special weeks it has been for the High Point Panthers athletic department. You have both the men's and the women's team win the Big South, go to the NCAA tournament. The men knock off Wisconsin in a huge upset on Thursday. We told you the first half that assistant coach Katie Clayman was there for it. Her husband, Flynn Clayman's the head coach of the men's program. 10 seconds to shoot. Go inside. Mitchell, the junior from Colorado Springs, delivers.
That's where the size comes into play, because credit to Peshish on High Point, who really defended Blake's well, but she's able to give it up and find size on the interior.
And another turnover. The steal and the score. Aubrey Galvin continues her terrific third quarter performance.
Galvin is really, really good defense to offense. In those traps, jumping the passing lanes, taking the ball away, and then quickly running it back for 2.
And just the intensity regardless of score. Shea Ralph has to be happy with this performance.
Yeah, it was really interesting and fun hearing from Shea Ralph about the recruitment of Aubrey Galvin, because as we mentioned, she had very few power conference offers. Vanderbilt was one of the few. And Shea Ralph said when she came in, she didn't speak much. She's more vocal now. She's playing with more structure, and she's just really flourishing in this system alongside Michaela Blakes.
They were attracted to her originally as Shada Brown knocks it down. Just her level of competitiveness, the things you can't coach. And you know, they've coached her up a little bit on being vocal and playing in the structure that they want to play in. Hard foul, middle of the court. Shayna Peshish, good to see her get up.
Peshish has brought a lot of energy in off the bench for this High Point team. I've been impressed with her on the defensive end. We mentioned her story has started at the junior college level for 2 years, now in her second year at High Point. Hasn't seen her mom in 5 or 6 years. Her mom's in Mozambique.
Yeah, just came over hoping to crack into play college basketball one day, and knew her best shot would be to do it here in America, and sacrifice leaving her mom and her family back at home. But incredible story, and to be back-to-back Big South champions, a part of this High Point program. So much to be proud of for the senior. Galvin stays hot. It was all Michaela Blakes in the first half, but Aubrey Galvin has taken over 10 points in this third quarter.
Yeah, there's really a shift. I think they must have said, hey, make sure you're looking for your shots as well, because she's been hunting them here in the second half.
It's allowed Blakes to stay off the court in this third quarter. Great take, Bashish. We were just talking about her. The pink braids rolls through the lane for two.
Yeah, she plays with a motor, and she's trying to fire her team up right now. She is the vocal leader and heartbeat of this team.
Galvin missed it that time. It stays Vanderbilt ball. Jada Brown getting some extended minutes with Blakes on the bench. Number 2 in white. Galvin again. Aubrey Galvin can't stop scoring in this third quarter.
That's now three shots in a row for her, where she's come off the ball screen to the left side. The defender has dropped down. Her defender gets hung up on the screen, and she's just pulled up right at that elbow area. She's made 2 of the last 3 attempts from there.
One minute remaining in this third quarter. 3 on the way, off the mark. Dom Neslin couldn't connect. Galvin missed it that time. Offensive rebound. Ayanna Mitchell cleans up the spill for 2.
18 offensive rebounds for Vanderbilt in this game.
And they are not done scoring in this third quarter. Another defensive takeaway. Kick to the corner. Brown a 3. Missed it.
The bench wanted that triple. They were about to explode if Brown had knocked that down.
Another defensive stop. A third quarter where Vanderbilt is separated even more, outscoring High Point 27-13. Galvin comes out of this game to a huge roar from the home crowd. They are enjoying NCAA tournament basketball, being back in historic Memorial Gymnasium after too long of an absence. Shea Ralph told us that that was a huge priority for this team to get home court for the first and second rounds. Thinks it's such an advantage. Her 5 starters on the court to start the fourth.
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that had a 2-week layover. She wants to make sure her group is playing well. She's still applauding her team after that backcourt. And Jay, just to go back to that bracket real quick, that's Notre Dame, Ohio State, Hannah Hidalgo, Jelani Cambridge. Talk about 2 of the most electric guards in the country that are going to be going head-to-head in that one.
Well, Regional 1 Fort Worth is just so loaded with star power. Obviously, UConn at the top of it. But you go through the bracket and just felt like they spoiled us with this region for sure. A High Point, a bucket to start the fourth quarter. You got to credit the Big South champions not backing down in a hostile road environment. Vanderbilt has not lost at Memorial Gymnasium this season. Look inside. Everything but the finish from Washington, who's got a double-double today. That was her 15th rebound. And Jakalenga's fouled and will shoot 2.
And the offensive rebounds just keep piling on for the Vanderbilt Commodores with 2 there. That brings them to 20 on the game. 21 second chance points and chance for more here with the free throws.
Right, so that's 20 offensive rebounds. High Point as a team only has 18 total rebounds. Coverage of the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship continues on CBS, TBS, TNT, and True TV. For more tournament game times and networks, go to NCAA.com. We've talked a lot about the High Point men also being in the NCAA tournament. How about the Vanderbilt men? Mark Byington and the Commodores on the men's side. Nice come-from-behind victory to beat McNeese in the opening round, and they'll take on Nebraska tonight.
We almost went 4 for 4 in our region with men's and women's teams in, and the Illinois men are as well.
Yeah, 3 or 4 ain't bad. Pull-up pop. Galvin, she's had the hot hand in the second half. Misfires there. 3-on-2 for High Point. Spencer missed it. But she has cooled off at 22 points in the first half, only 3 in the second half. Passat got it. Justine Passat, the senior, showing her range.
We were looking at the box score in between quarters and say, man, Passat has been quiet. She hit a 3 really early in the game. She was fired up, and then that's her first bucket since.
They only 6 points for Passat, and that Vanderbilt has 86 as a team. Blake's tried to dish it, regathers, plenty of time on the shot clock. Blake's give and go, fouled and will shoot 2.
High Point still has not figured out a way to defend that back cut, the give and go action from Michaela Blake's, and they're one of many teams who has not been able to solve Michaela Blake's this season.
And if she makes both free throws here, it'll be the 8th time in the last 10 games she will have 30 or more. And earlier today became the single season scoring leader in the history of Vanderbilt basketball. I think even more impressive, Kim, she's already top 10 in scoring in program history, and she's only a sophomore, and she checks out to a huge ovation after hitting that 30.
Saw on that graphic just the 3rd Vanderbilt player to do so in an NCAA tournament game. That's something like a stat you have to triple check. That's now her 13th 30-plus point game of the season. I mean, just unbelievable. She averaged 30 points per game in SEC play. The SEC, which is known for great defense, she averaged 30 points.
Up ahead, High Point. They've continued to push the pace, which is, you have to say, favored Vanderbilt, but you give the Panthers a ton of credit for continuing to battle and play the way that got them to the NCAA tournament under head coach Chelsea Banbury for the 3rd time in 7 seasons with Banbury as the head coach. We were hearing yesterday what it's like to be a High Point student, and not just a student athlete. All students get access to what they call the learning labs, which enables you to learn some business and social etiquette, but with 5-star dining totally free.
Yeah, you get to go to a steakhouse once a week. I mean, let me see what kind of degrees they have available at the graduate level.
Yeah, do you have any eligibility that you can tap into?
I'm sure I can find a loophole in this day and age. I'd be eating filet mignon every week.
The Gertis, good bucket there. Comfortable 33-point lead for Vanderbilt here in the 4th quarter. Galvin missed it. Another offensive rebound cashed in. Jackalenga. She and Sasha Washington have been so good on the boards, both with 10 or more rebounds tonight. That's a season high for Jackalenga.
Yeah, Washington has 17 rebounds. My goodness.
Yeah, they've combined for 27 rebounds and 20 points. Washington lost her footing, tried to hand it off. Stole it away. Aaliyah Collins lines up the three. Can't hit it. Follows her own miss. Rejected. Washington got all of it. And now Shea Ralph empties her bench, and the starters will come out for Vanderbilt with 5:39 to play.
Sasha Washington came into this game averaging 16 a game in her last three, and she had another strong performance. The 17 rebounds, 8 offensive, 9 defensive, career high 17 rebounds.
But I think after you lose, surprisingly, in the SEC quarterfinal after the terrific regular season of 27-3, you have those 15 days off, and you wonder how they're going to look in the NCAA tournament. Well, the answer was very, very well. 90 points, not even midway through the fourth quarter. It's allowed Shea Ralph to empty the bench and rest up for a second-round game between the winner of Illinois and Colorado.
And on the other end, Spencer has just stayed hot, cooled off a little bit, but she is quite the score, up to 27.
Make it 92 for Vanderbilt. An offensive explosion in the opening round, trying to get to that second round for the first time since 2012, 2013. Back-to-back shots. Ava Black, the freshman from Auburn, New Hampshire.
Everybody's eating tonight. That was the 6th triple for Vanderbilt.
No finish from Pashish. And here's the thing, you bring in some bench players, they're getting their first taste of NCAA tournament action. They're not going to slow down the scoring. They're looking to make their mark on this tournament and this team in what has been a historic season for two-seeded Vanderbilt. And you start the year 20-0, you get everybody's attention, you're in that number 2 seed, and boy, they are looking like it here in Nashville. Success the football season, you have to say that what Vanderbilt has created here over the last few years is truly special.
Yeah, really impressive. My first time stepping into this unique venue, such a cool place to play. I would really love to see the city of Nashville get behind this Vanderbilt women's team. Not that they aren't already, but
counted plus the foul. Ava Black. She has scored 7 straight since checking in, the freshman.
The Vanderbilt Commodores just keep pouring it on, coming in off the bench, players making an impact. Ava Black taking that contact. And just to go back to the point I make, I think Vanderbilt averages about 4,000 fans per game. This venue holds about 14,000. I mean, what they're creating here, these young women deserve to have a couple more thousand in the building supporting them. They are a fun group to watch.
And Ava Black, that's a career high for her. I think it's so special. We mentioned the entire athletic department taking off, and Dr. Candace Story-Lee, the director of athletics here at Vanderbilt, she played women's basketball for the Commodores, including was a part of that 2002 SEC championship team. There she is, playing good defense right there. And I think to do that,
that's verticality right there.
And what she's brought not just to women's hoops, but the entire athletic department has been absolutely incredible. And winning breeds winning, right? You can't tell me that the women's basketball and the men's basketball teams didn't watch Vanderbilt play football this fall and go, we can do that.
Yep.
And it feels like all 3 of those programs reaching new heights this year and just feeding off one another. And we said it a couple of times that it feels like every time Vanderbilt takes the court, they set more history. We've already seen a couple of records added to a growing list already tonight, and they're 3 points away from setting another one, which would be most points in an NCAA tournament game. Monique Williams fouled on the inside. Another freshman getting some playing time here from Perth, Australia.
I mean, just when you think there wasn't enough size and length in the starting group, you have reserves coming into the game at 6'3". Monique Williams was triple or even quadruple teamed on that catch, and she just went up strong and was able to draw the foul.
And with Williams making that free throw, now the 10th player for Vanderbilt to score tonight. Missed the second. And the fans inside Memorial Gymnasium, they want 100. A little more than 2 minutes left. You've got to give High Point a tremendous amount of credit. You know, outgunned in this first round matchup, but have continued to battle. So much to be proud of. Back-to-back Big South champions. And another program clearly on the rise. We're talking about all the success Vanderbilt's athletic department has had. High Point, another meteoric rise. And Trinity Wilson went into traffic, draws the foul.
Another 6'3" player on the floor for Vanderbilt. Post players coming in off the bench, being aggressive, drawing fouls. And there's a 6'6" reserve waiting to check in right in front of us.
Well, that helps your scout team, right? When you can manufacture that size in practice. As Vanderbilt hits 100. Offensive rebound. And with one more basket, it would be a program record for most points in an NCAA tournament on a night that Michaela Blakes becomes the single-season Vanderbilt scoring leader. Shot clock down to 3, and Vandy's got 102, the most points ever scored by a Commodores team in the NCAA tournament.
And looking at their bench there, it was incredible to see all the starters so happy for this group. The reserves coming in and making big plays.
Aaliyah Del Rosario checks in. You alluded to it at 6'6". Now Vanderbilt able to empty the bench. That's the reward when you put 102 up in your opening round game. What a bounce back from that SEC tournament loss in the quarterfinals to Ole Miss.
The bench wants Del Rosario to put one up.
Lost the handle. And now Vanderbilt can dribble out the clock. After a heartbreaking overtime loss a year ago in the opening round, for the first time in the Shea Ralph era, the Commodores are marching on to the second round, and they await the winner of Illinois, Colorado. That game coming on ESPN2 at 9:30 Eastern Time.